The number one thing that confuses me about dating right now is that it feels like a lot of guys like me, but they don't want me.
Men are very intentional. They know exactly what they are doing, when they are doing it, and why they are doing it.
When I tell you that I have zero interest in dating ever again, I mean that.
Am I the only person that's afraid to love the next person?
Something so sad is that I just don't know if I'm ever gonna trust men ever again in my life.
Never trust what a guy says to you the first 3 months of him trying to woo you. Those motherfuckers, they will just say whatever needs to be said to secure the bag.
That guy you like that you keep chasing and going absolutely insane about, yeah, there is a girl out there for him that he will absolutely love and adore and die for, and it's not you.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Desktop Drop. Let's dive in.
There's one time I told this guy that I liked him. I thought he liked me back, so I was like, let me say it first. So I was like, I don't remember what I did. I just kind of told him I liked him. And he said, he was like, oh, I only see you as a sister in Christ. At the time, I wasn't even in Christ. So I was very confused. I literally started losing hearing. I couldn't see properly after that. I was down bad.
Nothing stings as much as when the man that you didn't even like, you were 0% interested in, doesn't like you back. And I know it's all like an ego bruise thing, but man, does that sting.
The ego only hurts because rejection isn't fun when it happens to you. Men have been hearing no for decades. Now the feeling goes both ways.
Something so sad is that I just don't know if I'm ever gonna trust men ever again in my life. Like, I've talked to so many of my girlfriends about this recently, and I just feel like a man could literally show me proof of something he is saying. Like, there could be proof that it's not a lie, and I still wouldn't believe it. I just don't trust any of them. Not one. And I was ranting about this with my friend, and they were like, literally same. Like, it's just not safe out here. You just can't trust any of them. Like, you think that you can, and without a doubt something happens. And look, like, obviously I know there are trustworthy men out there, okay? But it's really hard to, like, actually trust anything that comes out of a man's mouth at this point. Because when it happens over and over and over, where, like, you think you can trust somebody, and they prove you wrong, and they prove you wrong, and they prove you wrong, you get to a point where you're like, yeah, I don't believe anything that any of you say. And I don't want to be that person. I don't like being a pessimistic person, but, like, unfortunately, the proof shows that you can't trust them.
The number one thing that confuses me about dating right now is that it feels like a lot of guys like me, but they don't want me. Like, they're physically attracted to me, they might like talking to me, they like all my stories and everything on Instagram, they might send me a DM every so often, but no one wants to actually make an effort to create something substantial with me. No one wants to make any sort of commitment, no one wants to plan dates, and I feel like I'm in such a weird period. Sorry, there were people, but it just feels like I'm in a weird holding period with a lot of these guys who are definitely breadcrumbing me, stringing me along, making me think that they're eventually going to make an effort. I just have to give it time, and I can't rush anything. There was one certain guy that we had been on 2 dates. They went really well. We were talking, we were FaceTiming, and I tried to plan a third because he hadn't yet, and it had been 2 weeks since we had seen each other. So I tried to plan a third, and he told me that he thought I was forcing it, and he was like, it'll just happen, let it happen, like, when we can see each other. I'm like, plans just don't happen out of thin air. Someone has to plan it, and clearly you're not. So I was told I was forcing it. So I don't know, it's very confusing to be liked by many but wanted by none, and it's kind of sad.
Attention isn't commitment. Men can find someone attractive and still decide she's not the right long-term choice. Attraction gets your foot in the door. Compatibility keeps you there.
When I tell you that I have zero interest in dating ever again, I mean that. Like, there is not a single thought in the back of my mind that thinks, oh, maybe one day, or what if. Like, I've dated enough men on the spectrum of good guy to doesn't give a shit to know that they have nothing I want or need. And it's at the point where I can't even imagine myself on a date with a man because the thought of asking him how his day was makes me cringe. Like, number one, I don't care. And number two, if you tell me it was bad, I'm gonna assume you deserved it. Like, that's where my head's at. And I know people think I'm projecting when I talk about how happy I am to be single and free, but as long as there are women and girls who are forced into marriages or who feel like they can't leave for financial reasons or their own safety, I feel like being single as a woman is the ultimate privilege. I just don't know what a man could provide me at this point. Like companionship, like I have my dog and my friends. Intimacy, like are they even good at that?
You say men have nothing to offer, then get shocked when men stop offering. You can't reject an entire group and expect them to keep lining up. Men are moving on too.
Listen, am I the only person that's afraid to love the next person? When you done been through a few things, it's hard. And the way the world is right now with technology and social media and all that, like people don't value love and don't love the way, that they used to. Everybody, it's men and women. It ain't no different. People will really have you out here thinking that you got something going on with them or that you love them and you trust them. And the whole time they can't be trusted. Somebody will make you feel and tell you that you're everything, and the whole time it's nothing. And it don't matter how beautiful you are. It don't matter what shape you are, color, size. Pain and betrayal comes in all shapes and sizes, race, all that. It does not matter. It can happen to anybody. And it's just scary because it's some people out there who really will love you right. But when the time is right, you got to just be okay with letting your guard down and finally letting somebody love you. Hashtag, it's okay, but it's scary.
Men are very intentional. They know exactly what they are doing, when they are doing it, and why they are doing it. Just because he's not discussing that with you doesn't mean that he doesn't know and he's all of a sudden dumb. He's playing you, sis. I used to always be one of those people when people say like men are super intentional. I'd be like, really? I'd be like, no way they're intentional. Men are dumb. It's an act. If he went all day without texting and calling you, it was an active choice. Because if a man wants to talk to you, he will. I used to have this friend that used to talk to somebody that was incarcerated. That man used to bully people out of their own minutes on the phone just so he can get on the phone and call the girl again. If a man wants to talk to you, he will move mountains to talk to you. So whenever you don't hear from somebody all day, remember that it's an active choice. For me personally, once I see that behavior, what you on backs the first 2 weeks, and all of a sudden on week 3, that's when, I'm not getting as many phone calls. They tell me like, I've just been busy. I have a lot going on. That tells me all that I need to know. I do not do in and out energy. If you're in and out, I will then pick for you because you're having trouble deciding. I will then pick for you and it will be out. And no coming back, because I am not an in and out type of bitch. When you look at me, do I look like an in and out type of bitch? No. And you know that yourself. And as women, we need to start understanding that we need to carry that energy too. Because if you allow, men will waste your time and men will play with you. I always say this on this app. Men will waste your time if you allow them, and men will play with you. If you're noticing that flaky energy, don't even ask no question. Just be out. That's the type of person I am. We don't even have to talk about it, but I'm out.
Women say if he wanted to, he would. Fair enough. But that works both ways. If a man stops investing, maybe he simply decided you're not worth the investment. Men are allowed to choose too.
Never trust what a guy says to you the first 3 months of him trying to woo you. Those motherfuckers, they will just say whatever needs to be said to secure the bag. I remember one of my early boyfriends years ago, he told me, he convinced me in the first couple months that we were dating. I was talking about I want to take these dance classes, would you do them with me? He was like, yeah, I think that would be so fun. I would definitely be down. We obviously never ended up doing it. But anyways, we would go on vacations together and there would be discos on these vacations, and I would always be like, can you come up here? I want to dance. Let's go dance. And I would get we would actually get into fights about it. I wouldn't talk to him all night because bro just would not come up and dance with me. And then there was even one point where there actually was a dance class I really wanted him to come with me to. He was like, I'm absolutely not coming to one of your dance classes. And I was like, I just don't get it, because when we first started talking, you were so gung-ho about going to these dance thingies with me, and you were seeming so open-minded about it. What happened? Why are you so closed-minded now? And he literally admitted to me, he was like, I was literally just saying what I needed to say to get you. I was never gonna do these dance classes with you. I was never interested in doing that with you. If you wanted a guy that dances, I'm not that guy. I was like, you couldn't have told me this before we fucking committed to a multi-year relationship. Like, it's just like they'll say whatever they need to say to bamboozle you. And this isn't even like the only story I got. Like, so many things these guys will say to you in the beginning that they absolutely do not mean. I actually had like somebody recently tell me about something, and I was like calling them out on it. I'm like, what? But you said, like, when we first started dating, like you said, and they were like, no, actually, like, I only said that because I was just like trying to continue seeing you. I was like, holy fuck, like, you guys are legitimate liars. Anyways, so take everything that they say with a grain of salt and actually see if they go through with it with their actions, because that's the only thing that you can fucking trust with these guys.
Actions matter. No argument there. But let's stop pretending this is only a male problem. Anyone can overpromise early on. Judge people by consistency, not just smooth words.
I don't know about the rest of my single folk, but every day single, I become less and less interested in the idea of a relationship or marriage. I've had my fair share of relationships. Some were okay, some were terrible. I genuinely just feel like there's nobody out there that I am compatible enough with to settle down. Maybe that's selfish of me, but I honestly don't care. I feel like so much of my life is centered around taking care of other people and not taking care of myself. When I think about my dreams for the future, it used to involve getting married, but I don't know if that's something I want anymore. I used to think being alone meant that I had to give in to the feeling of loneliness. And while I do feel that way sometimes, it's actually very freeing to be able to do what you want without having to answer to anybody. Maybe I'll change my mind eventually, I don't know.
The reason why the dating pool is so trash is because of us. The women, I'm gonna explain. Women are so brainwashed that if you're single and that you're not committed or have a ring on your finger, that you could talk to whoever you want to talk to. You could date who you want to date. You can have sex with who you want to have sex with. We're brainwashed to think that. Listen, ladies, when I tell y'all, that's nasty. It says a lot about us as women if we feel like just because we're not in a committed relationship that we could do whatever the fuck we want. Why is it that what we want is to be outside? Why is it that what we want is to have a roster? That's a problem. And then y'all wonder why men treat us how they treat us is because we treat ourselves like this.
Telling a guy you're seeing, like, you know, I would really love if you just like plan a little bit more dates for us, you know, be a little bit more romantic and thoughtful. And they'll be like, are you serious? I can't do anything right. I literally took you to Subway last week. Like, you're so ungrateful.
And that's exactly the choice more men have already made. Once you discover peace, freedom, and purpose, a relationship becomes optional, not a necessity.
Something that genuinely does my head in, when a guy's like, I don't want to date, I'm not dating at the moment, blah, 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 but you know for a fact that they're dating other girls. They're just saying they don't want to date because they don't want to date you specifically. But it's like, could you not just say that rather than lying to us? Because it's so frustrating. Just be truthful. We can handle rejection unlike you guys. So, yes.
That guy you like that you keep chasing and going absolutely insane about, yeah, there is a girl out there for him that he will absolutely love and adore and die for. And it's not you. Because it wasn't supposed to be you. And because there's someone else out there that will want you more than that guy does. We cannot be thinking the loves of our lives are the ones we have to convince. What is that? And on top of that, you are not the one that got away either. We also love to convince ourselves of that for some reason. It's not true. There is a woman out there that they love and they will chase and die for, and it's not you, because there's another guy out there that will do that for you, and it's not him.
This is for the men. Before you date a woman, ask yourself this one question. Am I gay? Could I be gay? Is there even an ounce of a possibility that I could be gay? Do you even like women? Or do you just want something from them? Do you care more about impressing your boys or other men rather than a girl? Does male validation make you feel good? When other men think highly of you, approve of you, agree with you, does that make you feel good? Does that do something for you? Do you want to impress men or do you want to impress women? What does it for you? I'm not joking. Ask yourself these questions before you start dating women, before you start wasting the time of women. Okay? All right.
And I hate when you gotta like meet somebody new and like y'all going through the talking stage, because it's like, I really don't give a fuck about your favorite color or where you see yourself in 5 years. Do you eat it from the back and do you spend that shit? Like, quickly. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly. Stop begging for attention that isn't freely given. Men learn this lesson the hard way. If she's not choosing you, walk away and let someone else appreciate your value.
A hill I will die on is that situationship culture needs to die. It needs to go. You're basically in a relationship but with no commitment and no right to be upset about anything at all. And then you've somehow invented the worst of both worlds and gave it a name like that makes it okay. The talking stage alone of a situationship should be classified as a psychological experiment. Texting someone every day, you know their sleep schedule, you know their coffee order, you know their childhood trauma. But are you together? No. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And you're not allowed to ask either. Can't say what you actually want from them because it's too much and it'll scare them away. You just sit there and hope they figure it out. They never figure it out, do they? Then, one of you catches feelings and the other one says they need space. Space from what exactly? You're not even dating. You're not dating. You're just two people making each other insane. Oh, and here's my personal favorite part. And then it ends and you have to grieve someone that you never technically had. There's no breakup, there's no closure, nothing at all. Just a text usually saying, I need to focus on myself, or we shouldn't do this anymore. Again, making each other insane. And then they go off and get a girlfriend or a boyfriend in the next 3 weeks, probably get married and have kids and have babies, and you sit there wondering for the rest of your life why it couldn't be you. I still sleep with my teddy bear from my childhood. Does anything about me say that I can do casual? Let that one sink in.
Every time I lie to a man and I tell him that I have a man as a way to safely reject him, and he says, oh, well, you can't have friends, aka I want to be your side dude, I don't care if you have a man, I still want to get with you, is that not so fucking gay? The fact that you guys want to exchange bodily fluids with a woman that you think is exchanging bodily fluids with a man already. It's almost like a woman becomes more attractive to a man if she already has a man. That says a lot about you. That says that you're cool second place, and baby, I like winners, okay? I like winners, I don't like second place. That also tells me that you want to be as close to a man as you possibly can. You're like, oh, this girl's getting cream pied, I want to put my face in it. You guys are sick. You guys are sick and you need professional help immediately. There is something seriously wrong up here, okay? Because if a man has a woman, there's nothing in me that wants that man anymore. I'm like, oh, he has a woman, okay, that seat is occupied, cool. I'm not even looking your way. You become a Ken doll to me. It's like you don't even have anything down there, it's just plastic. But men, they hear you have a man and they're like, ooh, when is it gonna be my turn? Hopefully it's right after that man just fucking laid the pipe. Yay! All right, bye.
A real man doesn't chase a woman who says she's taken. But let's not pretend it's a men-only issue. Both sexes have people who ignore boundaries. Character matters more than gender.
Woken up today and decided like I want to choose violence and expose men, and I'm going to tell you something that you cannot trust men, okay? Let me tell you why. Because my ex-boyfriend from 6 years ago that is married reached out to me, checking in, hope you're well. You want to know what I said to him? I said, I really hope my husband never checks on his ex from 6 years ago, and then I blocked him. So just telling you that men are out there messaging their ex from 6 years ago when they're married. Just saying.
So riddle me this. I feel like the more healed I get and the more I get to know myself, the further away I get from wanting a relationship. And this has kind of been hard for me because I feel like I'm going in like the total opposite direction. But you know, because we think that, oh, once you're healed, you'll finally be able to love correctly and like love somebody correctly. And there finally became a time where I was like, oh, I'm good. Like, I'm ready to date again. Except I have absolutely no interest in that. Like, all my friends are like, you should just go on more dates. You should date more. And I'm like, that actually sounds horrible. That is quite literally the last thing I want to do with my time. I can't be the only one that feels like this. Like, I don't know like how to explain it. I'm just very uninterested. But it's not because I'm not healed. It's almost because I'm so healed to a point where I'm just kind of like, I just know that's not what I want. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And also, I would like to make it known that, like, I'm such a lover girl. So it also kind of makes me sad because I want to love. Like, I would love to love. But I don't think I'm really supposed to.
One of the saddest things to see is a guy fumble a baddie in real time. Like, that's embarrassing. You fumbled a baddie? Like, oh my God. My friend was telling me that she recently went out with this guy that's been pining after her for literally months, okay? And she finally hung out with him, and now he's kind of like giving her the cold shoulder and is not really like texting her as much and is just like trying to play it like too cool. And she was like, this is like so unattractive. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, next time I see him, like, I'm gonna tell him and just like end things. And I'm like, you're fumbling a baddie, bro. Like, there is just, you could have fixed this so easily. Like, you're not keeping up. And I'm just like, fuck, man. Because my friend, she's a baddie. She is like so cool and so funny and hot and just like a perfect package. And I'm like, that sucks. I am that friend.
If she says she's taken, a man with standards walks away. Chasing someone else's relationship isn't confidence, it's desperation. A man with options don't compete for occupied seats.
When I say something online about how disappointing men are and everybody's like, you're single again? No, I have a boyfriend and I still wake up every single morning with more disdain for men than I had the day before. Yeah, every day I think this is it. This is the most that they can disappoint me. And then I wake up and I go, oh, I open my eyes. Nope, they've outdone themselves again. Yeah, romantic relationships are not the only way that men can disappoint.
Sorry, I heard some of y'all didn't get the memo, so I'm here to just, reiterate it. These niggas are narcissists! Run! Run for your life! They're trying to take your light! It's fuel! They're vampires! They're fucking vampires! Run! Oh my God, the devil's in your house! Run!
Guys will literally be like, I'm just not ready for a relationship, and they're 35 years old, and like, you're not ready. What were you waiting for to be ready? Being completely bald? You still have a little too much hair to be in a relationship. What could you possibly be waiting for?
Imagine having a boyfriend while proudly admitting you dislike men. No man should stay where he's constantly viewed as the problem. Respect goes both ways.
The least interested party always wins. In life, in business, in dating. What does that mean? Does it mean you're not gonna put your back into it in business and put your all into it and your back in dating? No. It doesn't mean you're actually not interested. It means you're not giving any desperation. It means that you're secure in your position. So like in business, if I'm doing a business deal, I know what I bring to the table. I know why the other person is sitting at the table. I know that I can add value. I know that I'm a good partner. And that's how I am in dating. It's not about being the best looking. And in business, it's not about necessarily being the smartest. It means if I sit down at that table in business, I know I can rock it. Happened to me the other day. Big business, major guy. And I sat down and he needs me and he wants me. Why? Because I run shit and I know what I have. I didn't go to Harvard. I held my own with Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary all day, every day, and they would both say that. And that's how I am in dating. I'll hold my own next to a supermodel because there are many things that people look for in a partner. And in dating, for example, intelligence and humor and confidence and good energy and fun. Like, for every hot girl, there's a guy sick and tired of blanking her. Why? Because women make the mistake of leading with their looks and leading with their superficiality. And men, for 5 minutes, may like that, but they don't want someone who's a lot of work, okay? They don't want that. They don't want to sit there and watch a woman get ready for 5 hours being late. That's a turnoff. That lacks confidence. It's not interesting. And you're gonna have to be able to keep that up. So if you start fronting and stunting in the beginning,
you're not going to be able to back it up. And that also holds true in business. That new car smell leaves real fast. So the least interested party always wins.
I think one experience that we really do not talk about enough is when you go through really long, extended periods of time where you are not attracted to anyone. There is zero attraction to anyone. There is zero romantic interest in anyone. People ask you, like, what's going on? Are you dating anyone? Are you seeing anyone? You say no. It's to the point where it's uncomfortable and people stop asking you because you never have any updates in this area. And occasionally you force yourself to go on a date or to entertain something romantically, and it feels like such a force. It feels completely bizarre. And, you know, you're like, is this what people are telling me to do, to push myself and put myself out there? Like, I don't know if I like this. I think one thing that's really important about this topic is that truly not every desire that you have in your life is for every chapter or time in your life. And there are certain desires that not everyone has, but many people have. You know, connecting with someone romantically, having a partner, that's a desire that you might have. Not every desire you have is for every chapter and is for every stage of your life. And one desire that is pushed on us as always wanting or always, you know, working on or healing towards is the whole romantic connection one. And truly, it might not be a chapter of your life that you're in. And the way to know this is if you have no desire, no attraction, no interest in really anyone. That is a little bit of a hint that it might not be a stage or chapter that you're in, and that is okay. And this can be true for so many other things, really for any desire. If you have a desire, but you don't have that desire currently, it might not be a chapter or time for you to explore that and for you to, you know, work on that, do that, whatever it is. Some other examples, because this goes so far beyond romantic connection. You can have a desire to get a new job in general, but you might not have a strong pull or interest in that for 2 or 3 months. And then randomly you wake up and you're like, you know, now's the time, and you kind of catch a wave and you follow that. I feel like that is when the time is to act on certain things or do certain things. I don't know, just different stages of life have different desires. Some can be focused on just the most random things, hobbies. Maybe it is a career change. Maybe it's making new friends. Maybe it's partying more. I don't know. Whatever little phase of life you're in. For me, my life has gotten a million times easier when I just kind of hone in on the thing that is interesting for me at that time. And my life works a lot better as well. And whenever I try to force myself to do things outside of when the desire is really there, it usually exhausts me. It kind of runs me to the ground. It's like an overexertion of effort, and I don't even know if it works. I don't know if I've ever actually achieved a single result by forcing myself to do a bunch of things when the time, you know, that general desire wasn't there. And of course, there are times where we push ourselves, but I think we push ourselves when there's already a slight desire there. Then you kind of push yourself and keep momentum going. That's different. But when there's no desire for something, it truly might not be the chapter for it.
A desperate energy is what kills attraction. Nobody wants to beg for a seat at a table where they already know their worth. Confidence wins on both sides. Anyway, that's enough for today. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, share, and stay tuned for the next video.